Day 3, teaching kids Dungeons and Dragons. Ugh. 2 11-year-olds and a 9-year-old. All right, so hello there, my friends, by the way. Yeah, today was interesting. So my wife wasn't there, who has very much experience doing this. There was a student teacher who was there, and that was very helpful today. But yeah, so what I did was I did a recap at the beginning of the class about what we had learned because, I was told, all right, we're doing a lot of free play. Did we learn anything? So I went down the whiteboard and asked them what they learned. And the one kid, the youngest kid, said, we learned that cooperation works and not cooperating doesn't work. So yeah, it was cool. Because there's a couple players. There was one guy in particular who turns on the other players. And in Dungeons and Dragons, that does happen. I was with a group where that happened, and even with adults, full-grown adults in their 30s at the time, it's hard to distinguish between when the player characters are attacking each other and the real human beings are attacking each other. So for kids, it's even worse. And so that was tantamount to kind of bullying. I think it was my wife said it's they're testing boundaries and that sort of thing. I get it, but we stopped it. So what happened was I decided that I was going to make the kids do dungeons, right? So draw their own dungeons. Pretend you're a dragon, and you have to guard gold and make a dungeon that would have traps and guards and things of that nature to, and obstacles to guard your gold. So it actually turned out the student teacher made this really amazing map. So we ran her map, and it was full of this part. There's laser. Well, first they had admission, and you had to sign a waiver to say that you were willing to take the risks, and you probably wouldn't survive. And they scanned you for weapons, all metal weapons, and some magic weapons. But somehow they got their magic. One kid got his magic wand in. Somebody else got a pistol crossbow in. The other one got a sharpened stick in, basically a wood knife, he said. And then, so I said, we'll make it a ceramic knife. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The obstacles were mostly environmental. Although she did say that her 3 uncles were guarding one hallway, and yeah, the kids, they didn't try to reason with them. They just took them out. So there were lasers. There were darts flying out of the walls. Very creative. There were snakes and spiders. There were, and then there was like a treasure in the middle. So anyway, somehow we made it and we got to the treasure. But then the one student, the older student who was kind of doing the PKing, right? So this is the thing that I learned from the start. Now, if I teach a course again, or if I do birthday parties or whatever we're going to do with this, if I do this again, no PKing, right? No player killing, okay? Can't turn on your teammates. Can't kill your teammates. You can't intimidate your teammates. It just won't work. I just make that rule from the very beginning. It's just not going to work. But I guess it was okay to let the kids discover that, because in D&D that happens sometimes. I mean, in real games where they're going to play games with, Adventure League, or maybe not Adventure League, but strangers and that sort of thing, homebrews, they're probably going to find that. So maybe they should be exposed to it. I don't know. Anyway, we're not going to do that for the next 2 days. We're not going to allow that. But like I said, when I put the PKer in charge and we ran his dungeon, which was really like a bank, he was surprisingly temperate, right? He gave us decent DCs, difficulty challenge ratings. He'd say, well, this guy's not that hard to persuade, so it's a DC 10, and so they were getting the game, it's day 3, and they're starting to get the game enough that they can run it. So the youngest kid that wanted to sit out a little bit and finish his dungeon, and he did an amazing job. It looks like something from one of the books, one of the actual DnD books. So I'm very impressed. So tomorrow we're going to start out with his, and we're going to let the 9-year-old run his scenario. And he's like, I said, do you want to run it? Do you want me to run it? He said, I want to run it, but I've never done it before. I said, that's okay. I'll be right there. I'll help you. So I'm really excited for him because he seems like he's really intelligent kid, really good at making dungeons, better than anyone I would have made probably. So I'm more of a theater of the mind kind of person. I do like writing down things on graph paper, but yeah, I kind of wing it. But yeah, he's got a great dungeon, so we're gonna go through it. And there's a big dragon at the end, so we'll finally meet a dragon, which we haven't done yet. And then we'll do the middle-aged kid, the kid who's middle in age, who's also 11, and we're going to do his. That'll probably take up all the time. If it doesn't, I actually have the Tales from the Yawning Portal. I just got out of the library, and I do want to run the Tomb of Horrors for them because I want them to be really high-level characters and see a really amazingly difficult dungeon. So that'll be day 7 or day 5. That'll be the end of the week. So if you guys have any comments on this, and if this helps you at all, please smash like. But if you have any comments, put them in the comments below because I'm learning how to be a teacher of DnD, and I want to do a good job because I want these kids to have fun and I want them to have a good impression of it. But I also want to do it justice. And we've gotten into some things. We've gotten into ability checks is the main thing we do because I like them to use their imagination. We haven't gotten into the nitty-gritty of like combat. I have de-emphasized that because I think sometimes it can get a little plotting, a little boring about like, I mean, we've talked about movement, speed, and that sort of thing, but as far as like the mathematics of D&D and challenge ratings and that sort of thing, we're not anywhere near that. Not with these kids. And, so it's basically one-hit monsters, for lack of a better term. Yeah, and we haven't really even gotten into like their pluses, their damage and hit points, and we've sort of a little bit, but we'll get into it with the Tomb of Horrors for sure because there's gonna be a lot of hit points. But I think what I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna give them each 5 health restoration potions so that they can die and then come back immediately so that they don't have to go back to the beginning so we can get through it. Because I don't think we're going to be able to get through that one session, even if it is 3 hours long. All right, that's all I got. So I just wanted to document this for future posterity so I don't forget and that it may be of use to somebody out there. And if it is, again, like I said, smash like. See you on the next one. I'll let you know what happens tomorrow.